Ready for 2 hours of updates, interviews, and just a lot of banter. I'm Rich Estrella, and of course, the gang will be with me tonight. John Conti, Bob Gibson, Dan DeForest, Randy Rosenblum. Everybody be checking in with some information from the games around tonight. It's really great to be back. And of course, last night we had the game of the week. It was Western and Huntington Beach. And joining us now, sitting on the set next to me, is, of course, the head coach over at Western High School, Dan Davidson. Dan, thank you for joining us tonight. It's been a while. I used to watch this show back in the day when it was with Time Warner, and here you are now.
Had no idea I'd end up on the show, so here we are. Thanks last night. Great coverage with you guys. Super excited. All the interviews, all the things you guys did leading up to the week. Sharing the game with Coach Brown at Huntington Beach, a class act at all times. Very proud of him. Proud of Huntington Beach. I thought they performed very well. We weren't up for the task on it, and we were a little bit short on the scoreboard, but as you've seen the crowd, the way the enthusiasm was, your guys' first game of the year, it's just what a blessing to be a part of it.
Well, you guys had a pretty good crowd. You had good energy at that ball game, Coach. And as I mentioned last night, Thursday night games, a lot of teams playing on Thursdays. There's a shortage of fields right now. And it's not just that, it's officials. There's a shortage of officials going as well. So a lot of games will be going on Thursday nights as usual. And, Coach, it was a tough one for you last night. It was interesting how, you guys won your first game. It was 26-20, and Huntington Beach lost 28-20, so very close, offensive, defensively, as far as giving up points, getting points. But last night, man, it's just one of those ones you're going to have every now and then. And it's good to have it now, but let's not forget, you're playing a school probably in the second or third best division in the country right now. You got to take the Trinity League, South Coast League, and then you go to the Sunset League. It's definitely where all the big talent is. Those are some of the biggest districts.
Yeah, and we're honored to be able to stay with Huntington Beach and play against them, and those type of things come around for a school like Western every so often. So to be able to have that opportunity to be on the stage with them was great. We're excited to build for it, and really comes down to execution. Huntington Beach came out and they executed. We'd love to say that our game plan really worked and did some stuff to stop them, but man, they ran the ball on big plays. Zone read caused us some problems, running back and the quarterback both. And then he really checked down the ball and got it out of his hands real quick, and we never could really establish pressure on him, and they kept us off balance. And as Bob Gibson did a great job of pointing out, we hadn't been shut out since 2015, so I really want to thank him for bringing that stat up to me.
Nice job, Bob. Where's Bob at?
Nothing like getting that right when you lose.
Insulting the guests the first day? Really?
It was a lot of fun being able to remember that we hadn't been shut out for about 7 years, so I just want to thank him personally.
Gotta love it, man. Gotta love him. Well, Coach, we said as we started the game out, we mentioned it was a David versus Goliath kind of thing. Your school's pretty moderate as far as enrollment goes, about 1,900. And then you go to Huntington Beach, man, and, it's over 3,000 kids. It's a big population, so you get a few more athletes to pick from, but you got to play these games, Coach, and you know this. You got to play these games early on if you want to establish a winning program. You got to play the teams that are bigger, faster, stronger if you want to see what you have to do in order to be a champion. Huntington Beach, doesn't quite have that program yet, but look at the division they're in, man. They got Corona Del Mar. Just for beginners and openers, you could just start with Corona Del Mar and end there, because we all know how good that program's been over the last decade.
And we know what Los Al has going right now.
Oh, my.
So
Los Al's next,
Edison's always tough. I think Newport Harbor's really turned it around. And so Huntington Beach and like
and they allowed Anissa Legal to score 4 touchdowns.
Right.
If you allow a team to score 4 touchdowns in the final period, when you have a 20-0 lead or thereabouts, you shouldn't lose the game. You really shouldn't be losing the game like that.
Right.
And I think I could just see Coach Brown on Monday going after the team, humbled everybody. When you lose like that, everybody has to shut up and listen, and let's get with it now.
And
good loss for him. That team's going to be really good, and they're going to have to be just to survive in the sunset. They're going to have to be very, very good.
Yeah, and we are, as you know, only 11 guys are on the field. So, and to get to our 40, we dressed 6 freshmen. So let's make sure that we get that out there real quick.
Yeah, definitely.
But really, you only play 11 guys. That's something what we've done in our success over the last few years. We usually do it with about 15 guys or so. But a lot of our guys play both ways, and we like that. Kids like to play that way, and we're still growing. Yeah, and we're still growing into it.
Heck yeah.
A lot of times, people now are going one-way guys. Our guys like being two-way guys. They like fighting. They like that grit. And sometimes, like you said, we just didn't play very well. And
it happens.
Part of the reason why you don't play very well is that your opponent outplayed you, and they out-schemed you, and they were ready to go, and they beat us in all aspects.
Well, I'll tell you right now, the thing that was glaring to me was the fact that Perez did have a lot of time to throw this week. You guys had 5 sacks the week before, but I think you only had maybe 1 or 2 this last week. And Perez just had more than 3 seconds to toss that ball.
And he does a really good job of staying alive in the pocket. And as like you said, he rolled out many times. If we did bring pressure, he felt the pressure coming off an edge. And so what we were trying to do with him was keep it in, so we tried to come pressure off on the edge. And he did such a great job of recognizing where it was coming from and rolling to those ways and keeping plays alive. And that's a credit to his skill set. And his receivers to keep fighting and getting open. Checked down several times, the receivers stayed onto the routes. And it's really hard to cover that long, and allowed him to really keep some big plays going.
Now, on your side of the ball, it looked like they had the game plan down to keep Drew Faulkner in check.
Yeah.
Because they were using the sideline as another defender. They were keep pushing him out during the play. They always had their hands on him, so they did a good job. I mean, as well as you can do within the rules to keep him at bay.
Yeah, they did a good job a couple different times bracketing him, where they even had 3 defenders on him. We had a linebacker, and then he'd come up and press with a corner and had a safety over the top of him and take him away. Michael Sutton-Shy on our other side is a great receiver that we would like a lot. He got banged up the week before in the end of the 3rd quarter, and so he wasn't on how he normally is, where we felt we could have really attacked him. He was on kind of a pitch count, and so like I said, I agree with you. I think they did a good job, stopping Drew, and Drew did ended up with 7 catches, but they were hard catches.
They were tough catches.
And if he did make a play, he paid for it.
Now also, something we noticed again, and you got to point out these things because that's how you get better. You got to humble your team a little bit, but you had a lot of drop balls early. You did. You had a lot of drop balls early.
Well, Drew dropped 1. Jamani Smith and Ty interception ended up coming off of their hands. 2 of their picks ended up being off our guys' hands that they should have made catches.
How many tip balls were there last night? There was so many tip balls at one point.
Our timing was just off, and part of that was the pressure that they have. I really think their defensive line was really strong, especially through the interior where they came and got into our quarterback's face and made him uncomfortable. And so the ball was getting tipped because the timing wasn't there to get into the routes. And so we lost the game in the line of scrimmage, and really on both sides. Our quarterback was pressured all night, and their quarterback looked like a 7-on-7 game. And
it did.
That's not something you want to hang your hat on.
Yeah, I gotta love it, Coach. Let's talk about your league now, because you're going to be getting there pretty soon. But in your league right now, we talked. At least you and I have talked about. I told you, McNally is up there right now. They're always doing well. I believe that's Lobendah's team.
Yep.
They do a really good job up there. And then the rest of your league: Anaheim, Savannah, Santa Ana Valley, Century. That's the rest of your league. But Right now, these preseason games, these are the games that are going to help you get over that. It looks like right now you and Magnolia are headed to that direction right now.
Yeah, I
Two
think
solid
I
teams.
think Coach Boer at Anaheim's going to get those guys going. I really like his team. I like how they play. They play really good, hard-nosed football. They always have a good, solid run game. They get the ball out. Like you said, Magnolia's going to be tough. Coach came over from John Glenn. We had played John Glenn the last few years.
Yep.
He plays hard-nosed football, runs the game, a lot of double tight sets, and handing that ball off, and you got to tackle him and be able to beat him. So that's definitely going to be a tough opponent, and that's who we end up with the year. So we're really going to hang our hat on that Bell game for us, playing Anaheim. We've been playing the Bell game now for 50-some years, and honored to be able to play Anaheim and Coach Brewer and to get after those guys and see if we can continue on our league title, going for our 4th title in a row.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how this all nets out, especially coming out of COVID. We don't know exactly, how many teams are going to come out full strength, how they're going to be after sitting out a year. I know quite a few schools are having issues with numbers right now, and it's just because maybe people have found other things to do. Maybe they're afraid of what's going on out there in the climate, the virus, and all this other stuff. It's hard to pin it down, but after being off, literally, let's face it, you guys only had 5 games last year, and that was in March. It wasn't even traditional season where, it was just a bad situation last year for everybody. But you don't know what's going to happen, so we'll have to wait and see. But I'm looking at all this right now. Don't have the scores from today. Don't know how everybody else did yet. But I just know Magnolia is tough.
And that's why we wanted to play Chino, who's a good, hard-nosed running team, and then come and play Huntington Beach with Coach Brown, does a great job, and Coach Feldman at Cypress. And then we have West Chode over at Esperanza. We want to come in and play those teams that are going to really challenge us up front and get us stronger up front. Because just like last night, what happened, I think we lost the game on the line play. Yep. Their quarterback was not pressured. We weren't getting enough pressure, so there's some things we got to fix on the D-line for our side. And on the other side, offensively, we have to be able to a way to protect our quarterback and give him some time. And Huntington Beach put so much pressure on us. We were really struggling inside of what's called our 50 series, where a 5-step drop. We could not do any of our 50 series at all because we were getting so much pressure on them. And they did a really good job trying to stop our quarterback from booting out to the right. They put an emphasis. The defensive ends really came out hard and took us out of some of the things we wanted to do. And so as a coach, you tip your hat, you get back into the drawing board, you give your guys, and we had a beautiful day in the weight room and running and conditioning and things. And we're excited to come out to practice tomorrow morning and see the improvements we make. Don't
forget the lesson, but it's time to move on from that game.
Yes.
It already is. Hey, John, we have Brown on the line? Coach Brown?
Yep.
All right. Can we go to him?
Yep.
All right. Let's see if we got Coach Brown here. Nope.
I'm on you. He's on the screen.
Oh, okay. Well, let's pick him up. There he is. Hey, Coach, how you doing tonight?
I'm good. Can you guys hear me?
Okay. I got to get my IFB in. All right. Well, this is what you do when you go live. Anyways, Coach, we were just talking about the game last night. First of all, congratulations to you guys. It seemed whatever you did wrong the week before, you righted it. We thought for sure Western was going to come back and score 42 points on you in the fourth quarter because the week before, it's kind of what happened. It's funny now, but it wasn't funny then. But
not at all.
It seems like, whatever was wrong, you fixed it. Congratulations on that.
Thank you. Appreciate it. And appreciate you guys having us on here. This is a great experience. You do a great job. So thank you for having us on here.
All right, Coach. Dan, you can't hear what he's saying either, huh? Hang on, Coach.
I can't.
All right, now I got you. All
You
right,
got me?
Coach. So again, we were saying congratulations, getting everything fixed up, righting all the wrongs. But good night last night. Your team looked totally different than the week before. I mean, you guys looked relaxed, but you had a few more weapons too.
We did. Can you guys hear me now?
Yeah. Well, yeah, definitely.
Okay. Yeah, we did. We got some guys back healthy. We had one kid that was sick, another kid that had a foot injury for the past month or so. Hideo was he makes our offense go. So we're a little bit different in that aspect, and we knew that, the reason that we love playing Western is Coach Davidson does a great job. They're physical, they play hard, they get the ball out quick. I mean, their timing stuff is unbelievable, so we knew it was going to be a tough test for us, and, we just were able to execute. And our goal all week was to keep our foot on the gas, and not let up and not let down and not have those moments where we kind of let down.
So, Coach, we were talking earlier about how these games early on are very important, and even especially so for you because, man, you got to be in one of the 2 or 3 toughest leagues in the Southern section, and that says a lot.
The Sunset League we talk about it all the time. There's definitely no down weeks. We can't let up at any time. We got to bring our best every single week, or it could turn into a
All right, everybody, welcome back. A little outage here, but we're back on, so let's get on with the show. Coach, real quick, today, Modern Day skunked Duncanville. Everybody, if you read Max Preps or any of these other publications, they're all come out of the East Coast or the Midwest. Modern Day didn't stand a chance of winning this week.
Well, it just shows how good Orange County football really is. And it's one of those things, can't say I always root on Modern Day because they're at a little different level than we are.
Absolutely.
But anytime Orange County football goes anywhere, Texas, Nevada, any place like that, we're always rooting for our local teams, and did an unbelievable job going out and representing Orange County football. So very proud of those guys. Bruce Rollinson does such a great job, and man, their tradition's getting stronger and stronger.
Well, I don't see there could be any reason Modern Day still can't be number one because, first of all, Duncanville was number 13 in the country. That was their ranking, and everybody was saying this is going to be Modern Day's undoing because they did not have a game going in, which is nonsense. Schools like Modern Day don't forget to play football because they didn't have a scrimmage. Their scrimmages are probably better than most of the teams they play.
Right, but their scrimmage every day going against each other is an unbelievable matchup.
Absolutely.
And they maybe some people take that for granted, but they're so good on both sides of the ball, and they're so well schooled, and their technique, their schemes, they do such a great job over their offensive and defensively. So Bruce has really got it going on, and an amazing job, and congratulations to those guys.
The other score I wanted to throw at you is, again, they're not in your league. They're not somebody you're going to play, so it's easy. You can comment on it. It's not a big deal, but Norco just handling Santa Margarita. Now, we knew Norco was going to be good this year. Last year, they finally beat Corona Centennial for the first time in like 15 years, or at least that, maybe 10. But, been the first time since Norco was they used to be the big dog up in the Inland Empire. And then Centennial just came in the last decade or so, and Matt Logan's just owned it.
Well, I know Norco was really happy. They were talking about returning like 22 of their 24 top guys.
Their
that
quarterback's
we were talking
a
about.
stud, man.
Yeah, so they have it really going, headed in a good direction. But Santa Margarita was a lot of talk, but they were about to come up and get after Servite and Modern Day and Bosco.
No
but
way.
I think it might be a little bit longer before that happens.
No, those guys are so entrenched, man. They're old school money, man. That's what we call it. But congratulations to the Monarchs. I know it's still early. It seems like the only games that matter anymore are Bosco, Modern Day in terms of when you're getting to the big picture of things, not the regular neighborhood schools. We're talking the big picture, because let's face it, every state, everywhere you go, they have schools like these. They're factories, man, and you can't fault them for it. They are what they are. You can't. Here we are. We're talking about them. They're the best of the best. So you really can't fault them for it. for being so good, you know.
And
But they do need to go out and play like they are. They're playing best schools.
That's what I like so much about what you guys are doing here at Prep Sports Night, and it's bringing them back where we all remember we'd go home, we'd get done with our game, go grab some pizza or an In-N-Out or something, go home and come back and watch you guys and give us the scores. And you do such a great job of talking about all the different leagues, whether it be, like tonight, we've already touched on, of course, the Trinity League. You have to. It's impossible. But touching on the Sunset, obviously giving us Orange, but Empire League with Cypress, I think Tustin has a great team. Pacifica's doing a great job over there.
And Norco.
Yeah, and
they're
Norco,
coming up.
The way that you guys hit all of the different areas is just such a great job, and that's why I'm so excited to be a part of this. And when you gave me an opportunity to come on this, and I believe in everything that you guys are doing, and I'm very happy that LA 36 is doing this, and hopefully we can continually keep growing. And I know I'll be checking on and watching you guys throughout. So.
Yeah, you remember the old days. It's going to get like that. It's going to be better. We have a lot of fun. You know, technology's made it so much easier to get a lot of things done in a short amount of time. So we're going to make sure we maximize that. But Coach, I wish you continued success. I know you got a big job this week in Cypress. No slouch, man. Those guys have come on. And they've got, they've had a lot of success in not too recent past, and they're still succeeding now. So it's going to be quite a challenge for you guys.
Yeah, look forward to going against Coach Feldman. Like I said, Coach Crook's their D coordinator and stuff, and they just beat San Juan Hills tonight.
Great.
So, hey, no rest for the wicked. Like I said, we look forward to it, and hopefully we can get a chance to come back and show. But I do have a lot of faith in our guys, and I think our attention to detail will come back and deliver a good football game.
All right. Hey, where's Bobby Gibson? Yo. All right, Bobby, get ready, man. Got Coach going to be checking out here, Bob, and you want to come and say your goodbyes. You can do them proper, So, especially Bob pointing out last night, you guys got shut out for the first time since 1905, Coach.
Yeah, I'm very proud of him getting that to me. I didn't remember that
better,
since
man.
2015.
You should have known better.
And I was walking by the car, and I seen you guys, and I thought about, should I walk over there or should I keep going? And I see John and Bob over there, and I definitely should have kept walking. So
yeah, I told you.
That'll be one of my big regrets, and when I end up retiring, that'll be in my speech. If I would have just walked by those guys that night, it would have been a little bit better.
Everything would have worked out fine.
And
Bob's the kiss of death.
That's the old joke. I'm the kiss of death, right?
I never asked Bob.
That's the old joke.
I'll never ask him to prognosticate one of your games, because if he picks you, you're going to lose.
Well, I'm really excited because I heard him talking up Cypress. So
I'm picking Cypress next week as coach is right here.
If we can get him to go there with his heart, that'd be a great job for us and give us a little bit of a chance at least.
What do you got, John? I know we got something going. But anyways,
I picked Duncanville today too. So.
He did. Okay. I was talking to Randy. We're gonna talk to Randy. Randy's got to own up, because I was talking to Rosenblum. Calls
Randy
me today.
actually did pick Duncanville, didn't he?
And we were talking. I said, Randy, what do you think? Because he was getting ready to go do the Camino Real game tonight. Right. So we were talking. I said, Randy, who are you picking between Duncanville and Mater Dei? And he says, he goes, he goes, well, there's no way it's Duncanville's going to win that game. I think Duncanville's going to win. I said, Randy, Mater Dei's going to whip their tail. I'm telling you. I don't know. We'll see. It'll happen. So. Is Randy on the line? Okay, let's put him up. Can we get him on the air where we can talk to him without having? I need these guys to chime in.
I'm sorry, I can't do the echo. You have to use the IFP. Sorry.
I'll deal with the echo. Let's try it.
There he is.
Everybody's going to miss out on this great interview, man. Hang on, Randy. I got to find my IFB. But anyways, I'll finish telling the story, because that way, Randy can't talk, right? I could say what I want.
Randy's gotta wait.
I know Randy's about to go kickoff, right? It's like 7 o'clock, and I know Randy's probably looking at his notes and all that. I thought later for Randy, I'm going to call him. So I did let him know that that Duncanville was getting creamed by Mater Dei. I had to lay it on him, so I'm sure he wasn't happy about that. But let's let everybody on the tube listen to this interview right now. Hey, Randy, how you doing? Hold on, Randy. I don't hear a word you're saying. Okay. I still don't hear a word you're saying. Anyways, hang on, Randy. So I know it ruined his day. Randy, you there now?
No, his mic's not on.
Okay. Anyways, so I ruined his day because,
Right, because he wanted to pick.
But
Now he's
does
up.
that make Randy the new kiss of death, Bob?
It might. Do I relinquish the crown?
I don't know. Have to ask
Randy,
Randy.
are you
Randy,
the new guy?
testing, Randy. Say testing.
I hear you guys well.
Okay, I can hear you now. How you doing, Randy?
I've been here the whole time, Rich, and you were right. That was a win really for Bruce Rollinson, because if you look at the talent of Duncanville, it's certainly right there with Mater Dei, but Mater Dei was the much better prepared football team. And you're right, they trampled Duncanville. And to go on the road and do that, that's a remarkable achievement, and give the coaching staff and Rollinson a lot of credit.
Well, I kind of alluded to that. That would be the deciding factor, would be Rollinson's experience, Rollinson playing in the big game, Rollinson having his team ready. I mean, I remember when Bruce Rollinson won his first title, they beat, I think it was Crespi with Russell White was the fullback. He was the big running back, and I remember being in the locker room after the game and Rollinson telling the guys that he won the first title for Mater Dei back in like 1922 or something like that, and that team. The team that he was coaching today could have beat that team and come back an hour later and then beat the team they beat, which was Crespi, in the finals. So he was really happy and real confident. So, guys like Rollinson don't get beat by guys that in Duncanville. Think about it, It's like getting beat by Mayberry RFD.
Yeah, the impressive thing there, Rich, is how good they were on both sides of the football. They dominated offensively. Elijah Brown is a gifted sophomore quarterback. They got great running backs and tremendous receivers. C.J. Williams, a very nice football player on the flanks, caught a touchdown.
Yes,
but
sir.
It's the defense. We're seeing that from both St. John Bosco, and we saw that against the team from Miami Central High School last week with Bosco. Bosco and Mater Dei both have terrific defenses, which gives their offenses plenty of opportunity, and obviously they're good on both sides of the football. And again, for Mater Dei to go on the road, go to Dallas, Texas, then to Duncanville and win the football game is mighty impressive.
Well, it's funny to hear you say that too, about those two clubs. Hold on, Randy, in those terms. But again, you got two really good ball clubs going. I like to see those games come on early like they have been. I like to see them playing early. I like the way Bosco played played Central Miami in their game, because let's face it, Miami Central is always in the top 20. They're a good ball club. And again, it was good to see Mater Dei out Duncanville, number 13 team in the country, taking them on early on. And that's what I like about these games with these schools early, because they would never do this before. The top teams in the country would never want to play each other. They'd lose their standing.
Great. I think it's great. And again, St. John Bosco played Alameda, Bishop Alameda from the Valley, which is a very good football team, and they won 24-3 St. John Bosco tonight. So Bosco's not avoiding people. Mater Dei's playing all the best, so they're playing the top teams. We know now that Servite's got a terrific team after what they did to Mission Viejo last night, and their quarterback Fafita is terrific, and he has gifted wide receivers. So the Trinity League's top three teams are incredible this year. So that Trinity League race is going to be a lot of fun, and we're going to have some tremendous matchups.
Yeah, a lot more fun than it's been in the past. I like the fact that Servite is licking around the edges now, Dan DeForest over here is talking all night about how Servite's going to win the Super Bowl this year, and I told him, like I told you guys last year, it takes a while for somebody like, excuse me, I'm going to bring this in now, somebody to get their program back and actually take over Mater Dei and Bosco. It's not going to happen, Randy. It's not going to happen like that, not that quickly.
Well, it takes time, and you were right about Servite. Now, they were very, very good last year. They had a terrific season.
Right.
But all their players from last year, by and large, are back. And they also got Burnett healthy, who's a tremendous Division I tight end. So that's a good Servite football team that's experienced. They had trouble the last time they played Mission Viejo. This time they blew them out. So you know that they're going to be pointing for Mater Dei and St. John Bosco. Not a guarantee that the Friars and Troy are going to get it done this time, but I think they're going to be very competitive, and those are going to be 4-quarter games when Servite and Mater Dei and Servite and St. John Bosco get together. I don't think you're going to have the kind of blowouts that we've seen this week.
Well, we knew, Troy Thomas, the last team to actually penetrate this Mater Dei Bosco group, I believe, was Troy Thomas, and before that it was Santa Margarita's guys. So Harvey Welch. So it's been a long time since somebody else has taken the helm in the Trinity League, and I still think, maybe Servite's a year or two away. Like I told you, I just cannot see Bosco and Mater Dei giving up their reign in that league. I think they're just too far ahead for somebody just to walk in and take over.
I don't disagree.
This is my belief.
Again, Servite is built up to this year. So if there's any year they're going, and again, Mater Dei and Bosco are terrific football teams. But if there's any year, Servite's built up to this season, and they have players who can do some damage. So they got a shot, and we'll see if they can get it done. And we'll find out when they get on the football field.
So what's going on tonight in the city section, Randy?
A lot of things, and you're right about El Camino Real. They played at Pasadena tonight, and they lost. They gave up 55 points, but the Conquistadors, formerly the Conquistadors, now the Royals. This was their second game as the Royals. They changed the name. Did put 23 points up, and Ryan Feinberg threw a couple touchdown passes, and he looked a little bit better. So Coach Zabalik told me they're getting better. He likes their improvement. They're maturing. And Coach Sabalik's going to join us next week on the program. And they're getting better. They'll host their first game next week against Harvard Westlake. But really, to me, an interesting story tonight, Rich, is Dorsey hadn't played in 2 years. And Stephon Johnson, their former great running back who started USC, took over the program and has been waiting 2 years to play. And they shut out Santa Monica at home, 14-0. Josh Coleman throws a touchdown, a very good quarterback. By the way, who's going to be a broadcaster, already has his own podcast. So I'm very impressed that Stephon got Dorsey ready, and after a 2-year layoff, won and beat Santa Monica at home. I think that's a real highlight and a great win for the city. There were some terrific games in the city. Maybe the best one was the Garfield at Canoga Park game. That was a back-and-forth game. Garfield's great running game, scoring. Canoga Park with big play after big play. And finally, Garfield pulled away, scored over 50 points, and outscored a very good Canoga Park team who was the Division II champions in 2019. The Hunters are better than most people think. So that was a good road win for Garfield.
What was the final on that one, Randy? What was the final score on that game?
I got it right here.
50 points in the fourth quarter. Are you kidding me?
No, they didn't score
Is that
all 50
Huntington
in the
Beach out there
fourth quarter.
playing?
54-28 was the final.
All right, 54-28. No, they didn't score 50, Bob. Bob just pulled the rest of his hair out right now. He cannot believe that they scored that many points in the quarter, but they did, Bob.
Yeah, they scored a lot of points in the second half.
Totally lying.
They didn't score 50 in the quarter, but they did score a lot in the second half.
Yeah, that's amazing.
The other intriguing matchup for me tonight was Kennedy, a rapidly improving program in Granada Hills, going to Chavez. Now, Chavez is a lower division East Valley team, but had upset San Fernando 8-6 last week.
I saw that score.
Yeah, and so that was a great win, and they hosted Kennedy. And I thought that would be a game that we're going to find out, because Troy Cassidy has a good Kennedy team this year. How good the Eagles are at Chavez. Well, we found out Kennedy just was too strong, 41-0. They have a great running back by the name of Manu, who scored 4 touchdowns, and they were just too physical and too strong for Chavez, who prides itself on defense, but they could not slow down the Golden Cougars.
Wow. All right. So, Randy, I wanted to ask you, stories that broke earlier this week, and we'll talk a little bit about this more at the end of the show, was about the situation at Crenshaw, man. Yeah. You know, I never thought I would see the day where the Cougars would not field a football team. It's just, I can't imagine it. It's like modern day not fielding a team. Really, because that's what Crenshaw would be kind of to the southern section, would be like a modern day Bosco right now. One of the better teams. But, man, when you don't have enough people, but I believe we've talked about this in the past, that probably is the charter schools that are sucking all the life out of the great athletes in the area.
Yeah, there's no question about it. And with View Park building up all its athletic programs, it's taken away from Dorsey and Crenshaw, and it's right down the street, View Park, from Crenshaw. It's interesting about the Cougars. Robert Garrett's still their coach. He's been there better than 30 years. He's legendary in the LA City section. He's won numerous city championships, and he's won a state title. But the problem is he doesn't have any students on campus. They're under 600, right around 500, 550 kids on campus. When he had the football team hopefully ready to go, he only had 14 players, and you can't play with 14.
Right.
Last I heard, he's up to 18 as he's trying to get kids to come out and play. So he's literally recruiting. They hope to start football in 4 or 5 weeks, but that's not a guarantee. So it's iffy if we see Crenshaw Cougar football. It's possible, but it's iffy at this point.
Unbelievable, man. Just unbelievable to me. I didn't think I'd ever see that in my lifetime.
Yeah, me neither.
Those city mainstays. Look at Manual Arts has survived, right? That's the
Yeah,
oldest school.
Manual Arts has had some decent teams in recent years, although they lost today. But Manual Arts lost to Hamilton. Hamilton's got a pretty good football team, by the way. They're 2-0. It could be the year of the Yankees in baseball and in football. So the Hamilton Yanks in football are not bad. But Manual Arts put up a good fight, but Hamilton beat them tonight. But you're right. Manual Arts is still going. Locke is still playing. So there are inner city schools that are getting enough numbers to play. They're just not winning a lot of football games.
Any other games of interest tonight, Randy?
Well, I got a few of them here. Let me check out. I think Banning 50-0 over Cerritos.
Wow.
When you look at how teams play, Banning is a physical, menacing team out of the Marine League, and they just took it to Cerritos. It was never a close game, and they run the football. They have Galloway, who's a terrific running back, but they got other performers involved tonight. Everybody had a good night at Banning, and that's why they won 50-0. And again, I go back to Garfield. Garfield's win was another big game for them. They go to 2-0 with their victory at Canoga Park. And a kid by the name of Robert Sanchez, and they had other running backs rush for more yards than Sanchez in the game, but he carried it 10 times on one drive. So I think that's a note, and they scored on that drive. So again, we're seeing back to basics in the city section. A lot of these teams are priding themselves on the running game. Garfield, Banning. Probably the negative tonight, and I didn't see the final, but Chaminade was ahead 49-7 late over Birmingham. That was a game pitting Jim Rose against his former head coach that he coached for at Birmingham, Ed Croson, before he went to Chaminade, and they play the game. But that was not a game that Birmingham figured to win. But in the long run, Birmingham will get better, even though they're 0-2 to begin the season. So I think that's a game of note, that the Patriots are 0-2, and Jim Rose lost to his old buddy Ed Croson again. But Chaminade's a very strong program, and that was really a game where Birmingham was just trying to improve on what they did last week.
Well, we know Garfield's doing well this year. How's Roosevelt doing? Because we're looking at that game, the Classic, as a game of the week this year.
Yeah, that's a real valid point. I didn't see Roosevelt score tonight. I think their program's coming along. I think they'll be better this year, and the Roosevelt-Garfield game is back. I think that's the story. They didn't play it last year when we had our spring league. The two schools did not play. So we haven't seen the game in over a year and a half. And if you go back, Garfield's won the last 10 in that rivalry. So, and the last time they played, Garfield beat them 25-0. And Roosevelt, that was an improvement. So I think that the Roosevelt program is getting better. Garfield's got a young, very talented football team. They'll probably be the favorite when we get to the Classic. But, Rich, I would say to you, that's a game to do this year because it's back, and I think there'll be great interest in the community when Garfield and Roosevelt finally get together.
Yeah, it's going to be fun to see that again. Hopefully they'll fill the stadium up. The beauty of that game is it's both teams' homecoming. It's both schools' homecoming. Randy, you've probably seen 100 of those out of the 102 that have been played. So you know what it's all about. It's a big festive evening. Back in the day, they used to sell out Weingart Stadium, 26,000, 25,000 people, plus the people outside be waiting. They'd be picnicking everywhere. It was like going to a Raider game or a USC game back in the day where everybody just tailgates on campus, has a good time prior to kickoff. So it reminded me of that atmosphere. So hopefully they'll be able to capture some of that magic back, especially with everything that's been going on, all these delays with this football stuff. It's just been a real pain.
Yeah, let's just hope we can get the fans back in and we can get that kind of crowd. It'll be at Weingart Stadium on the campus at East LA again. And it really is a classic. And, the crowds have diminished in recent years, maybe to 10 or 12,000 because they're all Garfield fans because Roosevelt didn't anticipate that they could win the game. But I think Roosevelt will have a shot. It'll be competitive. And, with the fact that there wasn't a game in that rivalry last year, I would imagine we'll have a nice crowd when they finally get together later in the year.
It's funny, for two teams that are nowhere near the top of the heap in football in high school sports, it just blows my mind that every year, especially for the longest time, that they were the biggest game every year with attendance.
Biggest game east of the Mississippi is how they used to build the game. And what's interesting, Lorenzo Hernandez does a great job as the coach at Garfield. He's trying to come off that stance a little bit. Yeah, he loves winning the Classic, but he says, hey, my job is to try to win city championships. And he's won one at the lower division. He's won a regional championship. So Garfield's trying to be bigger than just the Classic.
I'm pointing at Bob saying, Bob, watch this. So, Randy, What's the Classic stand at right now? What's the one-loss record between these two? They've been playing it for a million years. What is it? Watch this, Bob. He's going to tell you off the top of his head.
Got it.
Go ahead, Randy.
I don't really have the numbers, but I'll tell you.
You lie.
this.
Randy's lying right now. You're making me lose my bet with Bob. That's all you're doing, Randy.
Bob, you've just pocketed some cash.
Bob, you just pocketed some cash, Randy said.
There you go.
You owe me, Bob. I get 10%.
Wish I could hear what
I
he was
think it's
saying.
pretty close because I think it's over the years, both teams have gone on streaks. This is the best streak ever.
Right,
I think
right.
Roosevelt at one time won 6 in a row when they had Mike Garrett, the former great running back. But right now, Garfield's in the greatest streak in the history of the series. But it's pretty close, and they've played a lot of games.
Right. All right, Randy. Well, listen, appreciate the update right now. Figure out some more stuff between now. We got an hour to go of this show, so we'll be hanging out. You got the number.
I'm here just enjoying the program and listening to the coaches, and I'm excited the fact that we have high school football back when it's supposed to be played. I'm thrilled that the powers in Southern California really showed their muscles tonight. Not just Mater Dei, but I believe Centennial went to San Diego and beat Cathedral Catholic the last I saw, so that's a great win.
Nice.
It's a very good San Diego program.
Absolutely.
Again, we mentioned Bosco beating Alamany. Sierra Canyon over Oaks Christian. Sierra Canyon's got a good team.
They beat Oaks Christian tonight, huh?
7 great teams in the Southern section.
Love it. All right, Randy, appreciate it, man. We got some other callers calling in right now. We've got another interview, but check back a little bit later if you got some more stuff for us, Randy.
All right, you take care, Rich.
All right, Randy Rosenblum, Mr. LA City section. Bob, Hall of Famer.
Of course.
With the section.
Hall of Fame.
Yeah, Hall of Famer, man.
Of course he is. A couple of years ago, he and Eric went in together.
That's right, they did, didn't they?
They're a tandem deal.
We
anyway.
had a good time
to go
with
in
that.
together. They're a tandem deal.
All right, we have Kevin on the phone. John? He's on the rendezvous. Oh, okay. All right, let's pull him up there. Mr. Director, let's do it. Hey, Kevin, how you doing?
I'm live.
Kevin, you are live right now. How you doing?
I guess stage fright is what I have to say right now. Yeah.
All right, Kevin. Now, at Western, you're handling a lot of the film. You're handling a lot of the organizing of that stuff. I heard you're a real technical wizard.
Yes, I am.
All right. So, what do you tell me what you do during football season? What is your job? Do you have to shoot them? Do you have to label the tapes? What do you do? What do you?
Basically, I work for the Pioneer Press. Well, I don't really work for them. It's just something I do for fun, really. I really like doing this, kind of a hobby.
Sure.
Pioneer Press. Obviously, it's operated by the exclusive Creator Academy only at Western.
Nice.
And what happened was that in, I believe, late March, Mr. Almedo, he's like the bigwig, I guess. He said, "Hey, Kevin, we have a big opportunity." And I was like, "Okay, what is the opportunity?" He's like, "We need someone to go down there, shoot football. I need you to contact this guy named Victor. We have like 2 ASB girls that have this equipment. All the equipment's ready, and everything should go well." And then after making sure it was safe, because obviously COVID was still booming back then, I said, "Yeah, of course I'll go." And then that's history from there.
Yeah, well, that's good though. I mean, it's something you like doing, What about that academy? What do they do? They take the upper echelon students that things come easy to, and they want to learn some more.
Yeah, because I would say Western has a good sort of selection for electives, and the Creator Academy is one of them.
Right. That's great, man. That's great. So you're looking forward to football season? I guess you were kind of bummed out last year, right? Half a season, maybe. You only had 5 games last year.
I mean, that was kind of the adrenaline, because obviously I was excited that we were gonna start, being able to do this, and of course we might start. We're probably gonna do this even without COVID, and I'm very looking forward to this.
All right. Well, listen, man, you're an inspiration to a lot of people, man.
I am.
You keep working hard. You seem to, just keep everything together. It's too bad. Yesterday you came up in the press box. We did, we were so busy we didn't have time to talk. But I'm certainly glad that you're doing well. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
It was a day off for me, since I didn't have to transmit stuff. Everyone at LA36 was doing it.
Right.
So I just hang out in the crowd.
That's
good
though. Yeah, that's great, man. Well, listen, continued success to you. Kill it. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
obviously I was very shocked by I believe it was 0 to 40 something yesterday.
41. Don't keep repeating
41.
that. Yeah. You're killing Coach right now, man. Cringes
Yeah.
when he hears that.
I'm so sorry. But
Hey, but listen.
some people say, "Oh, we're
Kevin?
gonna bounce back later."
Kevin, I was telling Coach that 14 teams got shut out yesterday. 14. All right. And you guys were only in the middle of the pack of those shutouts. There was 7 teams that had a worse beating than allegedly you got, Dan. Now Bob's telling me to say all this stuff. I just want you to know. This is coming. Bob's like the puppet master over here. You see him doing the marionette thing. Anyways, Kevin, we're just giving Coach a bad time right now. But
Yeah.
it
But I
wasn't
mean,
that.
some people say, after this we're gonna bounce back.
Oh, I agree. Yeah, can only go up from there, right? I mean, you guys had good success in that first
Yeah.
game, but you're going to
Yeah.
take one on the chin. It's time you guys got a little humbled and realized that you got a lot of work to do. So
Yeah.
time to buckle down
Yeah.
and get going.
Yeah. What I have to say is it doesn't get easier, but we do get stronger. That's what I would say.
Yep. Yep, going both ways, man. It takes a lot of stamina. So, yep, things will get better. Things aren't even bad. You guys played a really good ball club this week. I mean, it's a pretty big school, David versus
Yeah.
Goliath, and it was Goliath's turn. David got him
Yeah,
last
and
time.
also we're looking forward to doing other sports because last year we also did wrestling. I'm also looking to doing wrestling along with some of the other sports that Western has to offer.
Good, man. Well, keep it rolling. Maybe we can use some of your stuff on here because we're doing everything preps
Yep.
on this show. Tonight's just the first night, getting our
Yeah.
feet wet, getting all our stuff worked out. But we're going to be having
Yeah.
highlights, more interviews. Tonight is just the inaugural. So
Yeah. May I shout out some people live on air before I go?
you sure can.
Okay, so hold up. Obviously, the VIP person, I have to shout out Coach Davidson. He's an amazing person. And then who else? Mr. OMG Almeida, he better be watching this. Obviously, he's the bigwig of the whole Creator Academy. Victor, I know he's watching this. He texted me.
Victor, okay.
You're amazing. And then what else? Some of the people that have helped. So there's the assistants that have helped me throughout the streaming process. Of course, Alexander, Victoria, Leilani, Palma. I'm so sorry if you're watching this and I did not mention your name. I'm just trying to go off the top of my head. And obviously, may I I just said I did good in my home language, even though I probably butchered it, and
That's
I'm
all
cringe
right.
when I repeat it. But yeah, this kind of unnecessary since they're right outside that room.
That's
But
all right.
yeah, mom, dad, Banoy.
Listen, what you're supposed to say in case you leave anybody out is just say it to all the homies.
Yeah,
And that covers
all the homies.
everybody. There you go. That covers
Everyone.
everybody, including Bob Gibson over here. So
Yeah.
right on.
Yeah, looking forward to football season this year. Hopefully, we win the next game. Hopefully, we win all of the rest of the games. We will bounce back.
All right. Well, listen, congratulations once again. Like I said, you're an inspiration, kid. Keep it up.
Yeah.
We'll
I
cross
also
paths again.
I also made a short film. It's called "How Western Does Live Streams," and it's basically a whole short film going over the process.
Right.
I was really proud to produce that.
Right on. Busy kid, man. Right on.
Yeah.
All right, Kevin.
Yeah.
Well,
15 and busy.
We'll visit again. We're going to be out at Western again for another game, so we'll see you then. Until then, enjoy yourself, man. Keep going forward.
All right. Thank you. Thank you for having me on.
All right. Thank you, Kevin. All right, Bob, that's Kevin. He handles the a lot of the film process over.
I
And,
know.
film guys are important because, you got to have film exchange and this and that. Now, nowadays, it's not quite like that.
Right.
It's
not the days the coaches meeting in the parking lot.
That's what was going
with the dusty
on.
old
And there was
canister,
always a coach that would-
the half-inch tape.
I've heard so many stories about that, but Kevin is he's obviously very technically inclined, youngster. I said he was 15 years old. I believe he tests on the scale a little bit for autism, but he just is a smart kid, and you could just see what he's doing. I mean, he's going to go places.
No, he's outstanding, right? I mean, he really
He knows
he's
more about the stuff than
completely
we do,
than we
Bob,
do.
and
I know,
we started out
100%.
from the bottom 30 years ago.
He's got it all dialed in. Good
Yeah.
for him, man, and good for that program over there at
Yeah.
Western.
Nice job, man.
Right.
Nice job
Absolutely.
indeed. Anyway, he did mention about the score from last night's game again. I know.
We're not bringing that
Coach
up anymore.
Davidson's busy
We're
right
not,
now.
We're not bringing that up anymore.
So, Bob, real quick, I want to talk to you about the scoreboard right now. Let's talk about some of the scores
Yeah.
from last night. The one that jumped out to me the most was How bad Servite beat Mission Viejo,
I know,
man.
right?
I don't know how to take that score.
Look, I've been saying, I said it last year, right? I thought it was Servite's year a year ago. I think I was a year too early on that.
I think you're still 2 years too early.
No, look, this has got to be Servite's year. The Servite can't
Why?
wait. They can't wait any longer.
You said that about the Rams for 22 years, Bob.
Modern Day and Bosco will never stop getting kids to go to those two schools.
Of course not.
Now,
No.
right? That is a pipeline at those
The
two
program.
schools. Right. So Servite has Noah Fafita, right? They got the top receiver. They got everything in place. Now they may not have quite the horses Modern Day or Bosco has, although I think they're a little closer to Bosco than Modern Day. Modern Day's off the charts, off the planet right now. We'll talk about their score in a minute, but
Right.
this has got to be Servite's year, right? If Troy Thomas is going to pull off what he wants to pull off this year and coach them up, now maybe they don't get Modern Day, maybe they can only get one of the two.
Right.
Maybe they get Bosco, maybe they don't get Modern Day. But if you knock off Bosco and you get to that number 2 spot, you've really done something.
Hey, we're gonna get. Hey, Dan, come in and get a picture with us. John, go ahead and do it on the fly, man. He's got to go to the bathroom or something. He's dancing
Get him
over
in
here.
here.
So get in the middle here, will you? We hate to see our guests leave without saying goodbye and stuff like that. So
Get over
here we
here.
go, man. You guys will see
That
this.
picture right there.
You can see it on the website or something down the road. But Dan, we really enjoyed having you, man. Really did. Thanks for getting Kevin on here with us too.
Thanks, Coach.
Remarkable kid, man.
Appreciate it. Thank
Always.
you guys.
All right,
See you
Big
soon.
Dan. Thanks
All
again.
right.
All right, but yeah, Bob, I was very shocked by that score. I'm still not.
I'm not sure if that's more of an indictment on Mission Viejo or if it's more.
Well, we don't know coming out of
we don't
COVID.
know. We don't know what. Yeah, and we
Coming
don't
out
know
of COVID, we don't know.
Mission Viejo, would traditionally be a really good game. Those two met in the playoffs a year ago, and
Right.
Mission Viejo won the game. So, I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. I don't know if that's Mission Viejo's come down a notch or Servite's that much better.
Listen.
I think to me the answer is Servite's that much better.
Nobody more than me wants to see this Servite jump in there and start racing some havoc in the Trinity League.
Right.
We'll have to wait and see. Hey, should we just go pick up the phone? We got who? James? Jim? Alan? Is he ready? We got a caller.
Let's go to Alan.
I'm waiting for John to give me the high sign.
You got it?
Hello, Alan. Big Al.
Richard, how are you?
Hey, doing pretty good. How you doing?
I'm fine there. You're like Lazarus rising from the grave there. I tell you, you got more lives than a cat. I'm
Hey,
glad
listen.
to see you back on the air.
Well, it took us that long to go broke, so that's why we're back here working on the air here, me and Bob,
Oh, you still got Robert there, huh?
Yeah, still got Bobby over here. How you been, man? I remember you. We used to call back.
I was
when
going
we
to
were
say, is this the
Time
guy who used to
Warner.
call in back in the...
I think his wife used to like our show more than he did.
Is this the same guy?
Yeah, I think so. Sounds like him. Right, Alan? Hey, Alan.
Uh-oh.
Oh, I think I hung up on
We
him.
lose Alan?
He's calling back.
Uh-oh, get him back.
Is that my bad?
Rich hung up on him.
We ready? Hey, Alan? Alan.
Hey, what are you? Got no budget? Can't pay your bill?
Listen,
Hey,
man.
Grant. I thought it was going to be the gut. We were watching All American. You ever watch that show? It's a great show.
Yeah, I have actually. Yeah, there's some good ones out there now.
Right. We're saying there's no platform anymore. She loves that. She was a former phys ed teacher.
Yeah.
So I said, I'm glad to see you back up there again. Yeah, we need something like this with everything with COVID and all that other stuff there. It's just refreshing. Good luck to you though, Richard.
Hey, thanks a bunch. And tell your wife hello. I remember you said your wife used to like watching our show back when we were back in the Time Warner days.
She's out like a light. If I wake her up now,
Sound like a lie.
yeah.
Well, get it on tape.
Don't get yourself in trouble.
All right,
Yeah.
Al. Listen, man, you check back in anytime, man. Love you
You
guys.
take care of Richard. Hey, Robert, behave yourself.
Oh, I'll try.
Yeah, I bet you will.
Yeah, he's always in trouble.
See you later, guys.
All right, Alan, thank you.
All right.
On. Yeah, it's good to see guys back from the day. A lot of
They're
people.
finding us again. Look at that. Just like that, they found us
Well,
all
even
over
like
again,
Coach
right?
Davidson was saying, he remembers back in the
Right?
day, and it was kind of wild, and we hope to bring that back.
That's really what we want to do.
All right,
Absolutely,
back to
100%.
business now. The second big score last night, besides the Servite Mission Viejo game, was the Norco game. Now, we shouldn't be surprised because we've talked about Norco. I want to see them play a Trinity League team.
Yeah.
I just do. I just want to see
Well, they
where
did.
they're at. Well, we already found out. They just played one, Santa Margarita,
right.
but I'm talking the big three right now.
So go up the next
Yes.
rung on the ladder is what you're saying.
Absolutely.
Because
Yes, sir.
you know, Santa Margarita's an improved team, right? Santa Margarita's kind of been floating in the couple coaching changes, floating in the weeds a little bit. They've got that dialed back in over there. We saw that over the summer, right? Santa Margarita's starting to rebuild it back in. Norco's really good, though. We know Norco's just a top team.
Their quarterback
defeated Centennial
good
a
lineman.
year ago, first time in a while. I have no problem saying that I think Norco is probably a favorite in that game. We're talking Centennial still, but I think Norco's the favorite in that game because of the result a year ago and what we're seeing out of Norco right now.
And you can't call that victory a fluke last year. I saw that game,
not at
man.
all.
They kept the pressure on Corona Centennial the whole game. And again, it was no way Norco was going to win that game, right? They hadn't won in like 12 years or 15 years. I would have to look that up and be concise.
It's been a while.
It had been more than a decade before anybody's unseated Corona Centennial.
Right.
And finally, Norco, man, and they weren't afraid of them. They went toe to toe. They stood, took their best shots, and still came back, man.
Right.
They did not waver one bit.
No, it was a great performance. I like the way they just took out Santa Margarita in this game. That's a solid, mid-tier Trinity League team, and that tells you Norco really believes in themselves this year, right? They really think they've got something special, and they do. They have every right
I think
to
they believed
that.
in themselves last year. I would have loved to see that
100%.
team go into a playoff situation.
But now, like you just said, we can say that's no fluke, right? So you beat Centennial, now you beat Santa Margarita. Now we start talking about where do they fit, right? Could they go up the next rung on the ladder? Could they face a Servite? That may be too big of a test right there. I don't know, but why not, right? No, I'm sure Norco feels like, give us the shot, right? We'll take it.
Yeah, absolutely.
They'll
Why
take
wouldn't
that
you?
shot.
Why wouldn't you?
100%. They're ready. They look ready.
And so I'm looking forward to that one. Now, one thing we're going to be treated to early this year, just looking ahead at the schedule, some of the big games. Bosco Mater Dei are going to play like in October 1st or something like that. I mean, they're going to play right out of the chutes, man. They're like game one. Normally, that's the last game of the year. And then they got to play 3 weeks later in the CIF finals or whatever,
But see, I like it this way.
Yeah. Play early. Play
it early, and then if we do get that rematch
around.
later on, then that's going to be fun too.
Yeah, but
I don't know. Servite wants to be the spoiler though. I don't see any reason why they can't be.
Here's the deal right now with the national picture. Mater Dei has to keep their foot on the gas. If they don't keep their foot on the gas, IMG Academy is going to be the national champ. Number one, they're only going to play like 7 games because nobody will play them because it's a professional high school football team. It's kind of like that team in Vegas that Bull went to. What was it, Nevada something?
Whatever it was.
Anyways,
right? And then,
they got 15 kids in the school, and all 15 play basketball. Right. All boys, too. So very interesting what's going on.
Some of these academies are set up for,
strictly for sports.
as athletic powerhouses.
But the last time IMG Academy played Mater Dei, what happened? Mater Dei beat them.
Yeah, they did.
So, but they're going to have to keep their foot on the gas. Bosco's going to have 2 chances at knocking Mater Dei off. 2 chances.
Yep.
And Bosco really should be the reigning national champ because before the COVID year, they were the champ.
And again, I don't see why Servite can't be in this picture, though. I know you don't believe in him as much as I do.
No, I'm not saying they can't be in the picture. I just don't think that they're going to have enough to beat the 2 big guys right now. The 2 big guns, that's 2 big arms you got to fight off. I don't know if they can fight them both off.
They're flying high
They
right
might
now.
get Mater Dei, they might get Bosco, but they're not going to give both of them in the same year. And that's what you have to do to win the title.
You're right. I don't see Servite knocking off both Bosco and Mater Dei. Like I said, I think they can aim for Bosco. I think that's a legitimate. I don't know who's going to beat Mater Dei. I mean, they beat the number 13 team. They went on the road to Texas.
It wasn't even close.
Number 13 ranked team in the nation. Mater Dei's number 1 and 45.
And La Mirada's got him in 2 weeks.
Look, Mater Dei went pick 6 right off the top. Damani Jackson took it back. And then they got the big touchdown run, 75-yard. Their first offensive play of the game, 75-yard touchdown run. So right off the bat, like Mater Dei is like, we're here, we're in Texas. We don't care what you're ranked here in Texas.
Right.
We don't care because you can't match what we do.
Right.
You can't do what you don't have the athletes that we have, and nobody does. Nobody has the stable of athletes that Bruce Rollinson has at Mater Dei right now. Yep. Just insane with the level that they've taken it to. Bosco's close. We know Bosco's right there. Does Bosco have the horses to match that? I don't think anybody does.
It's not only the level of athletes. There's schools out there with athletes, but you have to be able to get them to believe in what you're doing and coach them. And a lot of these elite kids don't want to be coached up. They already know it all, right? They're here. What do I got it? What are you going to teach me, Coach? Can you run a 4.240?
Well, Mater Dei's not a Johnny-come-lately either,
No,
right? Bruce Rollinson's been around the block so many times. He's had Heisman Trophy winners come through.
Rollinson has the luxury of telling a starter, you're done. That's it, because the next guy up is just as good or better.
It was obvious, several years ago that modern day program had taken a little bit of a step back, and whatever they did to dial it back in, man, they were losing to city section teams. Carson beat them a couple years back, but boy, what they've done to turn that thing around, not only just to be good again, but to be great and to be the best team in the nation.
Right.
It just really tells you what they've done. But I mean, we could talk about modern day all day long.
Well, yeah.
There's enough to talk about with them. We got other.
Larry,
people
we
to
got
talk
some
about as
Norco
well.
highlights to run real quick from last year's. No, all right. So, no, I just want to see what they do
No, but
when
it's
they get in the
interesting
mix.
right off the top.
'Cause I think they could play. Hi, everybody. Welcome back. Apparently, there's a little outage going out in our area, AT&T, so we'll give them credit. We're off the air, but now we're back. So let's get on, Bob. We gave a nice little commercial.
Right.
Making you wonder if you should get those guys. I don't know. We're just kidding around, all right? But let's get back to it, Bob.
Outages happen.
Tonight's scores, wanted to bring up a couple. Interesting one is a Mott over La Habra. And not only over La Habra, but over La Habra big. And nobody does that to La Habra.
Yeah, 30-point win for Bishop Amat, 44-14 the final score. Tobin Bell, the quarterback, 225 yards, a couple of touchdown passes.
Wow.
Delano Franklin, 6 catches, 158 yards. Also hauled in one of those touchdown catches. Bishop Amat, look, they've been that D1 school that's kind of been on the edge.
Yep.
A little bit, on the outside looking in, especially, right? They can't quite crack what is going on in D1, right? When they get that open division, they're really the team that just sort of sticks out. Like, yeah, they're really good and they're here, but they're not able to get to that next level. This score right here tells me, look, two things: either La Habra's really down this year, or Amat's really ready to make a move in D1. So we'll see what the real deal is. In the open division, we'll see what the real deal is.
Being that La Habra lost last week, I got to think they're down. But let me tell you something about La Habra. Frankie Mazzotto over there. He got that program going by playing all the biggest dogs on the block. They were going after everybody and anybody who would play them. The Long Beach Paul, they'd go after anybody. They would play anybody. Yeah. And then all of a sudden, Bob, they had it figured out. They got really good. And next thing you know, this guy's won like 5 CIF championships.
Right.
Been to the state playoffs and everything else. So, these things run in cycles. Maybe it's time for La Habra's cycle to be down. They're going to be cycled down as maybe a mid-level team in the Freeway League. Look at Sunny Hills last year, in the year before. Those guys were in the cellar for a long time. Now they're back up. So these things go in cycles. I'm not going to read too much into La Habra because every year they play really good schools. And, of course, you're going to lose some of those games early.
Steve Haggerty, the head coach over at Bishop Amat, there were some rumors in the offseason that he was maybe looking elsewhere, looking to move on from Amat. That surprised a lot of people, right? Everybody said, how could Haggerty ever leave Amat? Well, you never know what's going to happen. But whatever happened or actually didn't happen, nothing happened. Haggerty stayed at Amat, and it might have been a blessing in disguise, right? That if indeed he was looking to move on, it was never actually confirmed. But if there was just rumors out there flying around on the internet, like happened a lot during the offseason, right? None of that stuff ever happens. But some credible sources. But whatever, it didn't happen, and he's still back in Amat, and that's still a top tier program. They still get so many of those great players in the San Gabriel Valley. They tend to get all the top athletes in the San Gabriel Valley. So Bishop Amat's still Bishop Amat.
Well, like I said. They had it going on a while back. Remember when back in the 70s with Hayden and McKay, wide receiver, right, quarterback, and then went to USC and worked their magic in a national championship and so forth and so on. So, they have storied players. They have a storied, football program, but it's just been a long time since Amat's been back on top. So we'll have to wait and see, Bob. It's you always hope for the best. And, for Amat, they've been hoping for a while now, but who knows? Who knows? Anything can happen. It's still so early, and
that's the thing. I mean, we're in week 1, right? Which is really
absolutely.
week 2. I don't know why we call it week 0. Can we do away with that, please?
I don't
the whole
know.
week 0 concept. Can we just throw that right in the garbage can?
Yeah, I liked it better when we just had, either you had an
0.
open date or you did a
stupid.
scrimmage. The scrimmages were always fun,
It's
Bob.
fine. Call it a scrimmage, but why are we calling something
off.
week 0? Now we're week 1, which is actually week 2.
Pressure's off, man.
The things that bug me.
Anyways, looking at some other scores right now, Bob, just kind of perusing everything because we are live and
right.
These things are just coming in.
We got some other scores here. I can give you a few more if you want.
Do it, Bob. Come on, man.
Edison beat Clovis North 35-13, so that's a matchup of schools far apart from one another. Clovis North, which has a pretty good program, but Edison's still right there.
Edison took it on the chin from Servite that first week, man. They got hammered. I mean, really bad. Like, what was it, 63 to something?
Right.
I mean, it was, and I'm starting to wonder about Edison. And we were talking with Coach Brown earlier about how tough it is in his division. I don't put any stock into that score with Edison. Edison's going to be really good, despite what happened to them with Servite.
Yeah, that's true.
Servite's going to do that to everybody except Mater Dei and Bosco.
Got a Corona Centennial final, 57-14 over Cathedral Catholic. Now, Cathedral Catholic's one of the top teams in San Diego County.
Yeah.
So that's a top program, but we're talking Corona Centennial here. So 57-14. No.
That's not surprising.
No surprise there. Charter Oak over Northview, 28-7.
Yep.
Charter Oak still right in the thick of things. Bosco, we were talking about Bosco. That final score came in 24-3 over Alamany.
Hey, here's one for you. This is a crosstown rival game, Marty. This is the kind of game that they always played at the end of the year. Ayala against Chino Hills.
Yeah.
Guess what the final was on that one?
Give it to me.
21-20.
That's
how close these schools are.
Love it.
Look, those guys are always swiping each other's players. They're always trying to recruit them away, And that's how close they are. Ayala and Chino Hills, 21-20. Great ball game.
Another crosstown rivalry score for you. Tustin, which got an overtime win on a 2-point conversion a week ago. Big win for them. Foothill also won in their openers. So Foothill Tustin is a big crosstown rivalry in that area.
Bob, why are they playing these games so early? It's kind of like...
I know, right? These rivalries. Now, in fairness, Foothill Tustin always go early because they're not in the same league. So a lot of these times these schools are in the same league because they're close to each other. They are not in the same league anymore. So 24-0. Foothill, who's been really good for a lot of years. Foothill's been really good. Doug Case, the head coach over there for a million years. He's moved on. But Foothill is still got a lot of top talent there in that Tustin unincorporated Santa Ana area right up there. So Foothill gets the big win, 24-0. And can I give you this score, please?
All right.
Because Bolsa Grande.
Bob.
Bolsa Grande in the last 10 years, is 14-78. Okay, Bolsa Grande is everybody's homecoming game. Bolsa Grande is a football program that has struggled for a lot of years.
Garden Grove, baby.
Bolsa Grande won their opener. And not only did they win their opener, shutout 34-0 over La Sierra. So the Matadors with a huge win to open the season after going 14-78 the last 10 years. Good for them, man. Bolsa Grande. Let's hear it.
All right, let's hear it.
I love it. We got to give them some love,
got any
man.
crowd
We got
music here?
hey, we're going to have the No Love Club back. We're going to bring that back here.
No Love Club,
pretty
top
soon.
10's coming up.
I'm nominating Bolsa Grande to be in the No Love Club, man. 1-0 on the season.
I was going to put Fountain Valley in
pick two
that
of
club
them.
because they're 1-0 too. They beat Valencia 14-6, Bob.
They'll be there. They'll be there. Bolsa Grande. Big win. I love it.
You know, what has happened to Fountain Valley? Like, they used to be the jewel of the Nile back in the day.
So Fountain Valley's got a brand new head coach this year. David Gutierrez
Okay.
is their head coach. He coached at Servite, so he coached under Troy Thomas for a couple of years. That's after one disastrous season as a head coach at Costa Mesa High School. Now, you got to give him a little break there. The talent level at Costa Mesa has not been there since the Jerry Howell, Myron Miller days back in the 90s. So
That was when they were running the wing T offense, right?
Been a while since
Did
Costa
they run the
Mesa's
wing T
been-
back then?
Yeah, double wing.
At Costa
Myron Miller,
Mesa?
of course. Yeah, of course.
Did they win with that?
They did. They Costa Mesa went to a CIF title game against Trabuco Hills in 1991.
Interesting.
Yeah,
Didn't know that.
Myron Miller won everywhere he's ever gone, including Costa Mesa, which has no football history. Trust me. I
Miller
covered
runs
it.
the wing T. He had this team at, what was it at? Out in Bloomington? Yeah, Bloomington.
Ramona.
Yeah,
He won a CIF title at Ramona.
He was
They
at
actually tied.
He was at the guy that was running.
Well,
from
but Don
Dan
Markham out in Bloomington. Don
Don
Markham ran that. That's where Myron Miller got that offense from.
Yeah,
Everyone got that offense from
so-
Don Markham.
So Markham has this team, right? And he has this guy named Cheyenne Caldwell, and he had the other bruising guy. He had
Yeah,
two.
he had a couple of good-
Greg Oliver, and Cheyenne Caldwell were the 1-2 punch. Now they only had 4 plays in their playbook. That's all they had.
all
But
you
yet
need.
they set the national scoring record. They set the national record for most yards in a season, most points in a season, and the guy had 4 plays in his playbook, Bob. I seen them play I called a couple of their games in the CIF finals. They were amazing. And I'm telling you, it was either Greg Oliver, Cheyenne Caldwell. Craig Oliver left, Cheyenne Caldwell would go up the middle because Caldwell was a big guy. Remind me of Cullen Bryant, the ex-Ram.
It was Ben Tran back in the day, and then it was Charles Chapman and Dwayne Crenshaw was that
Yes.
1-2 punch at Costa Mesa. They had some great ones. Charles Chapman was the baseball coach at Tustin, just moved on over there, so
Right.
a little shout out to him.
Right.
But a great high school running back in his day. And then, of course, as Myron Miller moved on to Tustin, he had some good running backs, and of course he had Deshaun Foster.
Yeah, had Deshaun Foster.
Who was a whole nother level
And
up
then-
from everybody else. So
and then he
Deshaun
had-
Foster in that offense.
And he
was
had
just
Frosty
destructive.
Rucker.
Frosty Rucker was
Frosty
there.
Rucker.
Anthony Wilkerson, who went on to Stanford University, played in that offense as well, was another outstanding running back from Tustin back in the day.
So Rucker's this big stud fullback, right? I mean, he's killing everybody, and ended up going pro, and ended up being a defensive lineman.
Right.
Didn't even play out fullback. I mean,
he
what's
was so
going on?
that that's just a heck
He
of an
grew.
offense
He
right
just
there.
grew.
I mean, that,
But he was
that
an
offense
athlete.
was something.
He was a stud athlete.
That
you know?
offense was something to watch. I
Oh,
miss
yeah.
those days.
Boy, let's
nobody's
go.
running that double wing into the team. Schools that are struggling to have.
I would run it.
Myron Miller was a lot like that Western team, right? He'd have maybe 30 guys on his roster, sometimes less than that. It didn't matter. Everybody would play 2 ways, and all the quarterback would do was pitch the ball back to the one of the running backs, and the quarterback turns into another offensive lineman.
When you don't have,
You never throw the ball.
When you don't have a passing game, you run a veer or you run the wing T.
it.
That'll save your coach. If you're coaching, you'll save your job.
100%.
John
100%.
Conti ran that in his kids' flag football league. They ran the veer the whole time, and they ran
course.
wing T.
And
they won a championship.
scored like 700
It's the damnedest
touchdowns doing
thing.
that.
I would have never known. But yeah, he studied. Well, Markham was his buddy at Tustin, so he taught him. He taught him well. And it works at that level too. Of
course
All right,
it
Bob.
does.
Let's continue on
Of
a
course
couple
it
more of
does.
these scores because we got a ton of them to talk
them out,
about
bang
still.
them out.
All right, so let's go out to the middle of nowhere and let's talk about Elsinore defeating Vista del Lago. They're both out there in the Temescal Canyon area, if you want to call it that. The corridor where Elsinore and all that stuff is out there. What do they call that? What else is out there, Bob? There's like 15 new places.
Fontana's
Elsinore,
out there,
Canyon
right?
Lake. No, it's not Fontucky. It's
No,
not
am I
Fontana's
thinking the
out
wrong
there.
area? Lake Elsinore. What else is out next to Lake Elsinore?
Nothing.
Marietta?
Marietta's out there.
Vista Marietta's had some really good teams over the years.
Anyways, that's a big up. So Elsinore 46, Vista del Lago 7. Del Lago's kind of a new school. Elsinore's kind of an old school. They've
Yep.
been around a while. So interesting score. But Yeah, man, that's up there in the country, my friend. That's where you go up there and mountain lion come out and grab you during the game and carry you off in the stands.
You don't want any part of that.
Yeah.
You don't want any part of that.
Heck yeah. I like going out to see games like that. And Bob, we got to get out to Lake Arrowhead this year. And Big
gonna
Bear.
go?
Yeah, but
You
only
gonna get up there?
in late November when it's snowing. Went up there one time to check out a game, Bob, and I kid you not, there was literally 3 feet of snow on the field. They had guys literally.
Really?
Something happened to the truck that had the cleaner on it and pushing
Right.
all the things away, the bulldozer. And so everybody's out there with shovels trying to clear the field so they could play. The kids just ran over and got it,
That's the whole
beat
point.
down pretty good.
That's the whole point.
Yeah, exactly. So Bob, you still scrolling through here?
Yeah, I'm
Trying
scrolling.
to
I'm
look down there?
scrolling. I'm looking for more scores that just
right,
catch
Bob.
my eye.
Take
Etowanda
it
42-6 over South Hills.
Now, what's going on with South Hills right now? I saw that score earlier, and I couldn't figure that one out. South Hills doesn't get beat like that.
No, you're right. South Hills doesn't get beat like that.
But you got to wonder what's been going on. Troy over Bell Gardens, 52-0, Bob. Troy's that brain school out in Fullerton area. I mean, you got to take a test to get in that school. If you can't pass, you can't get in.
Troy's the real deal, right? Their basketball program has been top notch. The girls' basketball for years out there. Kevin Kiernan,
Yep.
who's the current head coach at Mater Dei, he's the one that got that program rolling at Troy and then got hired over at Mater Dei and has just continued to win championship after championship. But Troy's been really
Troy
good.
has no D1 athletes,
Right.
zero.
That is a girls' basketball school.
But they're smart. They're smart, and that's why they win.
You
They play with their head.
You go in their front office and they got
Right?
an entire wall of just. What do we got here?
Last game away, Bell Gardens and El Rancho. What do we got with this one, Larry?
Well, you just said Bell Gardens played Troy.
That's what it says here. They lost 52-0. That's what it says right here on the scoreboard, right here.
No, that's what I got.
Hey, you know what? This might have been from last year.
Check the date on that.
Yeah, check the date on that, Larry.
Check the. You guys both check your dates. I don't know.
Don't you love it?
Chaminade got a win.
Did they really?
Chaminade over Birmingham,
That's not surprising. though.
49-7.
Ed Crozian's still there?
Ed Crozian is alive and well. Of course he is. Ed Crozian's the man, right? Chaminade always going to be one of those top schools out there.
Keep going, Bob.
Chaminade. Hemet got a win.
Troy did beat Bell Gardens 52-0 last week there, Larry. So that's legit. That's a legit score right there. Go ahead, Bob. Lay it on me, brother.
Another score from yesterday, Newport Harbor. That's an interesting school, right? A lot of history there. When Jeff Brinkley was there at Newport Harbor, they kind of fallen on hard times a little bit. Hasn't been the same Newport Harbor. Been in the Sunset League, and you pretty much if you're in the Sunset League, you're getting left for dead if you're in the bottom half of that league. And Newport Harbor has been for a little while. But big win over Marina, 44-14.
Wasn't that last week, Bob?
No, that's this week.
I got that one.
That's yesterday. That was a Thursday
I like that.
score.
I got that one.
That happened yesterday. 44-14.
All right. Let's
Right
continue. Let's continue, Bob. Oh, man. Hey, Monrovia, real easy over Arcadia. Monrovia is still moving on, Bob. Remember back in the day we were talking
Right.
about these guys?
Right.
And they were just handing it to everybody. And they're still beefing up the scores on people.
You got a
57 points against the Apaches, man. Arcadia's no slouch, you know?
You got a Pericletti score? Sorry, trust us,
Pericletti.
that's funny.
Yeah, trust us. We got a lot of funny isms here that have been going out throughout the years.
Beckman, who hasn't been all that relevant in the city of Irvine for a little while, 34-14 over Bellflower.
All right, I'm digging
So
it.
I love that. You know, you guys have been watching the show for a while. You know, you hear me all the time talk about it. I love when the Orange County schools play the LA County schools,
Yep.
San Diego schools. I love when they get crossed because it never happened back in the day. You know, I've been doing this 30 years. Back when I first started, you would never see an Orange County school play an LA County school.
Bob,
it
I
just
used to-
didn't happen.
I used to
Now
use-
it happens all the time, and I love it.
Yeah, we were trying to talk to Woody Grayson today. That was last night's score. Beckman over
Right,
Bellflower,
Beckman over
34-14. Woody Grayson at the helm of Bellflower High, coached at Valley Christian. He was part of that. I think he was the offensive coordinator at Mayfair when they were winning all those CIF titles. So Woody knows what he's doing. He's 1-1 right now, and expect to see Bellflower bouncing back in that Suburban League. Suburban League's taking on a whole different look, folks. You know, they shed some of the lower schools into like John Glenn. John Glenn had no business being in that
Right.
division with La Mirada and a few of those other schools that
Right.
were just much
Some
bigger,
of those
stronger.
schools that were just too good, right?
And now they created that 605 league where you have Pioneer in that league, Cerritos in that league, John Glenn in that league.
Right.
Now you got teams that are the same size, similar student populations going after each other, and that's how it should be for the neighborhood schools. You should be playing schools your size. Forget the geographics. The geographics mean nothing.
Right. No, you should school size versus school size.
Well,
that's really what counts.
That's one thing we told Commissioner Wygod that we liked about what they have done in the playoffs is they have moved the geographical boundaries from let's get the neighborhood champion, and then they can play out. No, what they've done is they said we don't care about the neighborhood champions. Matter of fact, some of the schools in the same league don't even play in the same division in the playoffs due to the population and the ability of the school. So that's one of the good things they did, because in the playoffs, you'll see schools in the first round that are 100 miles apart. You got to go 100 miles one direction in your opening round game. That's tough to do. That is really tough. Here we talk about the new 605 league. This league's like now 2 years old, Bob, and it works. Cerritos, Pioneer, Artesia, and trust me, John Glenn is in that league as well. They're out of the unless they split it again this last season that we don't know about. Right. But, we heard Coach talk about Cerritos. Banning beat them 50-0. I wanted to tell him that that's not a big deal. That's just not a big deal for Banning. It shouldn't be a big deal for Banning. Banning's a big city school. John Glenn is a very small suburban school. They almost dropped football years ago. They have less than 1,000 students in a public school like that. But they did get a new stadium, Bob. They did get a new stadium.
It's really nice. It's really nice to see these schools get these, because the new stadiums are outstanding.
Yeah,
right?
now they're getting
really
nice numbers
facilities.
out again. Now they're getting the numbers out again.
Nice facilities.
So, anyways, hey, going back, let's take a look at some more scores. Harvard Westlake, Bob. You know who they beat tonight?
Who'd they beat?
They beat TBA.
Hey, I got a big.
Here's what happened. Real quick, let me tell you.
Go ahead.
Here's what's been happening, and we're all living with it this year. Some schools somebody had a quarterback test positive for COVID. Hey, he's the center of attention. He's running the offense. He's touching the ball on every play. And, if he's been throwing the ball around, you probably better shut it down.
Right.
You probably better shut it down.
Literally,
and that's what they've done.
If you're on Twitter at all, you're seeing sometimes coaches say, hey, my game just dropped out, right? I got a team job. I need a game.
Modern day had it have happened.
Teams are getting connected with each other. And it's been maddening to see, but heartwarming in a way too when you see some of these things.
Bob, here's a good game right here. Harvard Westlake playing Venice. Venice likes to throw that football. I don't care how good they are. They throw the ball. They're always entertaining.
Angelo Gasca over there, longtime head coach at Venice. You're right. They want to put the ball up, and
that's their thing.
If you got a score on this one, let us know.
That's the school that Harvard Westlake couldn't play.
Because of
is that
COVID?
why you're putting that up there?
Okay.
Interesting. Okay.
That's right. It'll be tonight. All right. So then we have a game, for an example, that was canceled because of it. Modern Day had one canceled earlier this year, and they were really looking forward to playing that game because when you're traveling to Texas to play one of the top teams in the country, like Duncanville, number 13, man,
you'd like to have a game under your belt.
You'd like to have at least one game, man. You're going to hostile territory. Right. They're going to be throwing everything at you. The minute you run on the field, there's going to be all kinds of stuff being tossed at you. Popcorn, Coke, everything. They're going to be throwing everything they get their hands on. I had to edit it right now because I was going to go into the soccer style stuff they do, but we can't do that here.
Hey, you think Sarah and Long Beach Poly's a big game?
It usually is, but Poly's really good this year. Matter of fact, we're going to talk about that in a second here.
You want a final score off that one?
Go ahead. Go ahead. I know.
Sarah beat Poly tonight.
They did?
Sarah beat Poly 28-27.
That sounds about right.
Right.
I mean, for them.
That's a big. Now that's two big teams, right? That's two big programs here in Southern California.
All right. So to give you guys a little lowdown on Long Beach Poly, nobody's been talking about Long Beach Poly since Raul Lara left, the old coach. Lara had won like 6 or 7 CIF titles with Long Beach Poly. Former player, coach. I mean, he had the program humming. Something happened, and he left, and they haven't been able to put together anything since, despite having the most high school kids going to the NFL, more than any other school by far. Number 2 is Dorsey.
You
shouldn't be surprised about that. So how do you have teams like that with so much talent that can't put it together and win year in and year out? It's just baffling to me. But that's what's going on. I think part of it is in the Long Beach Unified, Bob, it's hard to get a teaching job and be a coach. It's just hard to get one. It's difficult. Coach Lara was a walk-on, and they're not, don't pay that much. People think these guys are making big money. They're not. The only guys that are making big money is if you're coaching in the Trinity League, pretty much. And whatever Sierra Canyons League. What is that, Bob?
Sorry, Los Alamitos played Lincoln of San Diego tonight. Los Alamitos squeaked by in this one, 1914.
Man, they scored 65 against Bakerfield. And then it gets tougher when you get towards south of the border.
Oh, big
bud.
time. Lincoln's
down
a
there.
big-time school.
Wasn't that where Marcus Allen went?
Yep, make no mistake.
Yeah, Marcus Allen went to Lincoln.
Lincoln is a big-time school in San Diego. So 1914, Los Al, a really good Los Al team.
But, Bob, we got to figure out what's going on with Paulie, man. They were supposed to make noise this year. Matter of fact, I think the Fox is going to have them on a couple of games this year, which they haven't appeared in a long time as the, the showcase game.
Right.
You make the showcase game on Fox, which is now Bally's, by the way. You make that game, you made it.
That's,
And not the streaming stuff.
No,
I'm talking the game.
The game, right.
The game.
The where they roll out the big truck and everything.
Yeah, they have one for that. So, I don't know. We'll see where it goes. Bob, looking down, now I'm in the other section. So, those are probably the ones we kind of touched on. They're interesting scores. A lot of other teams are just playing teams, out of state, out of the area. Don't know much about them. They don't know much about each other. Everybody just wants to go on the road and play somebody, and I don't blame them. Your teams bond when you do that. So, we love that stuff. Anyways, we should do round robin. I don't think we're going to be able to have Randy in on this section.
Checked out.
He's checked out? Okay.
He's asleep.
All right. So, Bob, one of the things we're going to talk about, and Randy had some inside information for us, was the situation at Crenshaw, man. I mean, it's just inconceivable to me that Crenshaw wouldn't be able to field a football team or a basketball team or any team for that matter. They've been the class of the LA City section for a long time in football. They and Dorsey, from the big division. Every now and then you get somebody like, Banning had their time,
Right.
Carson had their
Right.
time at one time. Carson was big in the 70s. They were whipping everybody. They were in the national picture. So was Banning when the Ferragamos were playing there. But I never thought I would see the day where Crenshaw Dorsey would be struggling to field the football team, man.
It's amazing to see. You're absolutely right. I mean, nobody would think that, and a lot of factors, right? COVID, I think, has played a big role in this.
I think some of them might have found other things to do, but I think the biggest thing, Bob, is the charter school situation.
Well, and I wonder how many kids, right, out of school, right, distance learning, and maybe decided, hey, there's a different way of learning. Maybe I'm staying home. Maybe I'm not going back to campus. Maybe I'm going to go to a different school. A lot of people are homeschooling now. That's become a huge trend now. Homeschooling's become a huge thing. People saying, hey, I don't want to have to do the testing. LA Unified has been really at the top of making sure all the kids are tested and the masking and all that. There's a lot of parents, and we're not going to get political here, right? A lot of parents are on different sides of this.
Sure.
But let's face it, some parents might be saying, look, I don't want to deal with what LA Unified is doing out there. I'm going to go find something else, like a private school or something else for my kids. So you're right. There's probably a myriad of factors that are leading to this exodus. But the fact that a school like Crenshaw just cannot simply get the number of kids to come out for football is astounding.
Yeah, it's amazing. Now, talking to Randy about this, because we've talked about this before, and I'll tell you what Randy's thinking. He's thinking a lot of it has to do with, and he would know better than anybody.
He's got his finger on the
He's closest to it. Randy seems to believe it's all the charter schools that are now around there. Remember, every year we're going, who's Sisters of the South, and who's this and who's this. I mean, we're getting schools in there that are weird. What was the one, USC Brigade or whatever was that school called?
I can look them up.
There's a new
USC
charter school out there.
Right?
Yeah.
They're playing 8-man football. But I've never heard of this school.
Yeah,
Nobody
but
has.
it's a charter school, and that's all they're going to play.
Right.
So they're sucking the life out of the inner city schools, and eventually they're just going to go away as far as athletics go, because these guys are all in competition with one another, especially in basketball. Oh, man, it's gotten fierce. It's gotten really bad. And it's gotten that way nationally, but it's just the way it is, man. We're not going to be able to change it.
It's a shame.
There it
to
is,
see this.
USC
USC
hybrid.
Hybrid.
Never heard of that.
Never heard of them either. Now, Grace Brethren, there's a whole other story. Grace Brethren.
They keep moving around.
They had that Grace Brethren program, which was in national headlines a year ago. Grace Brethren decided, you know what? We're not going to play 11-man football anymore. We're going to completely gut. Josh Henderson, that great head coach, he moved on. He said, I'm not going to go play 8-man football. Grace Brethren is now playing 8-man football, and they get a big win tonight. But that's a whole different story there. But USC Hybrid, another example of a school that
I was thinking of Brethren Christian.
Everybody showed up here, and nobody's heard of them. So, Grace Brethren. Wow, what a fall from grace. Sorry about the pun. That they took, because that program was something else for a couple of years there.
Listen.
And the hierarchy there thought better of playing football.
So what? Never mind, Bob.
That's
the first I've heard all this right now.
It's
and I'm just starting to
dumbfounded.
digest
It's dumbfounded everybody because it came out of nowhere.
They were killing
It
everybody.
really came out of
They were
nowhere.
beating everybody.
It literally came out of nowhere. The people in charge of the school just said, you know what? We don't have the resources to really field a program like this anymore. We're out. I don't know. That's the same look everybody had on their face when they heard this. Same exact look. Nobody, I don't know.
Those guys in a short time were whipping everybody.
Josh Henderson had that thing
People did
rolling.
not want to play those dudes. Seriously. I remember interviewing those guys at the luncheon.
Yep.
And they were, the coach is very excited. He's very jovial guy. Seems to have his head about himself. He wasn't cocky even though he was whipping everybody and shouldn't have been. I mean, that's unbelievable.
A lot of those athletes have left, gone into other schools, obviously.
Yeah,
but,
they're all at Sierra Canyon now. Modern day, Bosco.
That's something else.
They were real
What
deal. But
happened
I think
there.
it was the coach that made that program. I'll be honest with you.
That probably was.
I think it was coach.
He got hired somewhere else, and I got to look it up. I forget what school he got hired at, but he's moved on. He's got some roots now to a new program, so I have no doubt that that program won't take long to get going.
Hey, let's get Dan up here right now. Hey,
coach.
Dan, why don't you come up here a minute? Dan's in the office
Danny D.
now. He's running around here, eating everything. How many of those sandwiches you have tonight there, Dan?
I had 3 of them.
3. I had 2.
I have no doubt. I put my money on 3, so I'm the winner here tonight.
All right, Dan. Way
I
to
put
do
my
it.
money on 3 sandwiches.
All right.
I said, Dan was good for 3.
Dan, you come over here and stand next to Bob, kind of. I know we've all been tested this week for the scary bug.
Yes.
I don't even like promoting it anymore, talking about it, to be honest with
call
you.
it by its name.
Bob, why don't you scoot over and get him? Just have Bob scoot his butt over. Watch your mic cable. Watch your mic cable,
you know what?
man.
I'm gonna stand up
I'd
here.
pick up that cable off the ground if I were you. That's
it's,
right. You ain't that tough, brother. All right, joining us now is Dan. Come on, pull yourselves in, brother. You can slide
gonna
the
have to
table over.
slide.
That's why we have this thing on wheels, man, so we can hang out together. Cocktail
Can we
hour.
do this? Can we play a little
Yeah,
hockey
yeah,
with
yeah.
it? You know.
Watch me.
All right. So, Dan, you hear what we've been talking about. First of all, a couple things to get your opinion on is, first of all, modern day killing Duncanville. Everybody in Texas thought Duncanville was going to win this thing. Everybody who hates California was saying Duncanville was going to win this game. Modern day went out there and just like, it was like a scrimmage, man.
I don't think they can be beat this year. I mean, I think they're going to run through Servite and St. John Bosco. I've changed my mind.
I've been telling you
But,
guys,
I mean,
man, for a couple years.
They're that kind
man.
of team. They are strong all the way. They have so much depth and so much talent on the outside. It's really going to be a.
You surprised how easy they went through Duncanville, though?
Not really. I mean, that offensive line and defensive line is very impressive. So I don't see anybody really taking them on this year.
Like a pick 6, and in the first play, the offensive play of the game goes 75 yards.
Yeah, they're good on both sides of the ball.
So right off the bat, I mean, it's just
It's going to be crazy.
way too much talent over there. It's nuts.
All right. Well, anyways, get your thoughts on that. And also, we're talking about Servite, because I know you guys, everybody wants to see something happen in the Trinity League. Every time you get a couple of teams that are, after they win 3 or 4 titles, it's like, okay, we need to get somebody else in here. It's just the way it is. But it seems like, Servite did throw a couple big punches this week at Mission Viejo in particular. And then the week before that, they're just gutting people right now.
Well, I think they're highly skilled on the offensive side, and got a great quarterback, great receiver. But as we saw yesterday on the game, it's the front line that really makes the difference, especially in high school. You got to have a strong offensive line, strong defensive line. If the guy has all day to throw, he's going to be okay. But you start getting in their faces, and it makes it so much more difficult.
Well, Troy Thomas knows what it's like to rule this league, right?
He does.
His Servite team. Back when he had the Troy Nicholas and I could name off Cody Fajardo, 100 great athletes in Servite back in the day. But when they had that rolling over there, right, they were the cream of the crop in the Trinity League. So he knows how to get it done.
The last team to be a Trinity
He
League
can do
champion besides Bosco and Modern Day was Servite. And they owned it for a while, for about 5 years. They owned the league pretty much.
I mean, Santa Margarita had their chance.
Yeah, they did.
With Johnny Football, right? They took their
Johnny Stanton, right?
Johnny Stanton, Harry Welch, of course, went there and they won a state title. But you're right. Everybody's had their one shot at it. Jay Serra thought they were going to make that jump. They didn't end up doing it. Everybody's taken their shot at it, but it's so difficult to do, man. It's just between Rawlinson and Negro, Monterey and Bosco, those two coaches have just completely rolled it up, man, and just buttoned it all down. Right, they're getting the athletes right now. You got to get the athletes to go to some other schools if you're going to try to compete at that level.
But here's the real equation now, because this is going to be our problem the rest of the season. Forget the top 10. It's going to be the No Love top 10.
I love it.
The No Lovers.
I love the No Love Club.
Just so you know, the No Love Club.
Favorite.
No Love Club. It was it's a creation of one of our former correspondents on this show, who happened to be my son, by the way.
That's right.
He came up with the No Love Club, and it just took off, man. It's basically the top schools that are not private, because let's face it, in private, you got the big leg up, had it for years. Only recently have the public schools been able to level the playing field, and it's only halfway, because if you do get a transfer in and it's, from the following year, he's got to sit out the first 5 games of the season if it's football. He's got to sit out half the season, whatever the regular season is. But conversely, Davidson had pointed something out. So what? If you're that caliber of team, like Narbonne was a few years back,
right.
They got like 7 recruits that they could not play, all D1 dudes that just happened to transfer in, and they weren't eligible till after week 5. Well, they happened to play Corona Centennial week 1 and got their behinds handed to them. But again, it just goes to show you, it doesn't matter. Narbonne just had to hang around until league, get their 7 D1 guys, and just run through league. That's 5 games for them. And then they got 5 more games in the playoffs if they get finished at state. So they still played a 10-game season. So it's not really a big penalty. It really isn't if you think about it. Not in the big scheme of things.
They still won their championship.
I want a ring. I want to hear it. Ding, ding. I want a ring. Come on, man. That's what it's all about, right? Getting
so
the jewelry.
True. So true.
Tongue-in-cheek now, folks. Tongue-in-cheek. Now we know that what college athletes are worth, right? Mm-hmm. Right? What's Trae Young getting? Over $1 million?
Right.
All right. In endorsement money.
So, DJ over Uiagalelei is getting.
NCAA is gone, baby. Thank God. Get rid of them.
Right.
Ripping off these athletes all this time.
Right.
So my question is, high school kids now, in order to make bread at the next level, if you're good, you need your downline. You need your Facebook people up. You need your Instagram people up. Whatever they're looking at these days, I don't even know. But whatever your numbers are, they have to get up there. What are these high school athletes going to be worth when they finally release them?
Well,
they get a work permit. Hey, I got a work permit, son. By my mom and dad, I got to have a job now, and I'm going to sell my likeness, and I'm going to sell the rights to my stuff.
But we're still talking about the elite few, right? I mean, we're not
talking about. I don't know, bud. Got to run it upstairs.
At the collegiate level, I think it's going to get bigger at the collegiate level, right? We're still talking about the elite few there, but it's going to get a lot bigger. I don't know at high school. I just don't know if kids are going to. Because the parents still, if you're a minor, your parents still have to sign off on this stuff, right?
Right, so absolutely.
I don't know how you're going to be able to really, how can you say?
You do it.
I don't know.
Kid 1, 2, 3 at ABC High School is,
Bob,
is worth
it's
what?
not your call, Bob. You know who's going to make that call?
It's not my call.
You know who's going to set that? The market is going to set that.
Oh, it always does.
I'm just telling you,
100%.
the market is. Dan, you should know better than anybody.
Right.
The market will set the price.
It's going to talk to you. It's going to tell you whether it's up or down. But I think it could lead to a couple of problems. Getting high school that kind of money, especially kids.
Not that kind of money. They might get some chump change
yeah,
though.
but
But
it's going to continue to go up as it becomes more popular.
Time out now. Let's look at the bigger picture now coming up. Okay, so I'm the next LeBron James or the next Rich Estrella, right? Big stud athlete coming out of school. I mean, they're going to college. They're making big money coming right out, right? So what if I'm the next LeBron James? Can't miss. I mean, somebody will throw money at me just to get in my pocketbook early and get in my wallet, so that I will take them with me to the next level, and I will remind them that I was paying for all your dates and your '69 Chevy while you were in high school.
Well, that's kind of like what happened to Tiger Woods. You remember he got that $40 million contract from Nike, and he's stuck with it. But now,
now it is.
Now it is. But back then, you were like, oh my God, he's still with $40 million.
Did I see chump change?
You're going to have
chump change. And for Tiger Woods, that is chump change.
Well, now, but back when he's still dedicated to him, and they got him early, and so a lot of these guys will get these shoe contracts and other things.
Good analogy, Dan. I like that.
Thank you.
You're thinking, man.
I think the difference is if Michael Jordan was coming out of high school, nobody would give him $10. Right? Because Michael Jordan wasn't Michael Jordan yet.
I don't know. I think somebody about to give him a 20. Take a shot at him, right?
LeBron James would have been offered the world.
If I'm a street agent, some kind of street urchin trying to live off people's lives, trying to sell them, trying to pimp them out, I'm going to throw money at everybody on every team. I'm going to give them at least a C note or two.
But that's been happening for a long time.
doesn't
That's
matter.
already been happening.
I'll get the next bowl.
What we're talking about here is corporations coming in and saying, look, we want to have a high school kid be the face of Coke or Gatorade or whatever the heck the product is going to be,
Selling
right?
diapers, man.
think
Hey,
whatever
I was a
it
little
is.
baby. I wore these diapers.
Whatever
Now I'm
you
in the
think-
end going to the NFL, baby.
How many high school kids in the future you think are going to be able to sell somebody's product for them?
Yeah, they
How
might.
many,
This
I
might.
don't know. How
Yeah.
many collegiate kids you think are going to sell a
You
product?
could sell products. You'll be able to sell products.
Collegiate a little earlier. I don't know how many high school kids you're going to be able to say, here's the face of what I'm doing.
Every year there's the next LeBron, there's the next Kobe, next Kareem, next whomever. There's always that dude out there. They will go after that
There's
dude.
a guy. There's always a guy.
The street agents do anyway. They'll give everybody
Well.
money on the sly, hoping that you'll remember that I gave you bread and took care of you on your way up. So now you're going to take care of me on my way down.
Sometimes,
right?
sometimes that works out for those guys. Sometimes it doesn't.
You're darn right it does. So I don't know. I just think it's going to trickle down at some point. Some kids, some lawyers going to do it. Just like Perry Klein. You know Perry Klein, right?
Yeah, of course.
Perry Klein was a high school athlete. He was the first kid to really challenge the Southern section with their rules. City Section
with
2,
the
by the
transfer
way.
rules, right.
He transferred to 3 different high schools for 3 different sports, and I believe he won 3 CIF championships.
Well-
played football at Carson, won a CIF championship. Then he went to, I think, Palisades for volleyball, and then he ended up at Santa Monica for baseball or something like that. And his dad was a lawyer. So his dad knew that the Southern section and the City section didn't have enough money to fight these things, so they just did what they wanted. And they had to give in.
Don't
Perry
forget,
Klein.
the transfer rules have already been. So you're right. Because the transfer rules have already been trampled upon. I mean, we saw a group of kids go to Mater from Rancho Cucamonga
Yeah, they
to
did.
Mater Day,
Then
and then
back
they went
home.
back to
Yeah.
Rancho
After football
to graduate.
season.
Right
Yeah.
after football, they
Go
went
hang
back
out
and
with
they
their buddies.
graduated
Yeah,
with their
hey,
buddies
bud.
back at the school. So we've already seen that happen, and
Yeah.
nobody even batted an eye over it. Right? It just was allowed to happen.
But
For
that's-
better or for worse.
That's
But-
the rule. They
but-
had to do that. They're
So you're
tired
right.
of chasing people.
So you're right. The next frontier is going to be right. Can we pay these kids some money? Can we get to that point to do that?
Well, there's
We'll
plenty
see.
of athletes you see that will go, that already know in basketball, they're going to be a pro ball player. So,
Yeah.
I mean, you can offer them money right now,
They do. Are you
Yeah, they
kidding
do.
me?
Yeah, like Kevin Garnett and the rest of them were,
They're all get-
Kobe.
I know some high school kids, and I'm going to tell you, I'll never name them. I know they were getting paid because I talked to them after their playing days were, and they were telling me what kind of money some of these guys get. And it's not chump change like we've been talking about. Their families are set up.
Yeah.
All right? And it's been going on for a long time. It's been going on for a very long time.
not
John
supposed to.
Conti's
It's not
one of the
supposed to.
guys I'm talking about right now. John was on the takes in kindergarten. You know what I mean? He's fixing games and
Getting
everything.
checks and
It's not supposed to be happening like that now.
Yeah. So, anyways, next week's football game, fellas. Who's on
Yes.
tap? Come on,
Yorba
Bob.
Linda.
Or Belinda and Orange.
All right.
We are fired up about this
What do
one.
I know?
It's going to be a great game. Really exciting,
That
yes.
stadium at Yorba Linda.
Whoa.
Is that what
the
we're gonna get, the
campus
new
is
stadium?
incredible.
Yes.
Campus stadium is magnificent. It's going
They
to be a
got good
great
Wi-Fi
game.
up there because we don't have it in this building.
Yeah, we
That's
got
for
good
damn
Wi-Fi
sure right
up there.
now. I'll tell you that.
Orange coming off a loss to Villa Park. Now, Orange beat Villa Park a year ago, right? John and I were actually
Yeah,
at that
you
game.
did that game.
And so Orange coming off, they lost to Villa Park. This
Villa
time
Park's
around.
no slouch either.
Orange is going to be ready to take it to Villa to
What's
Yorba
this?
Linda.
Dan, what's the average price of a home in Villa Park right now?
It's about 1.3 million, 1.4
is that
million.
all?
I thought it
if
was
had to
higher than
guess.
that,
Yeah, well,
actually.
that's the average. It goes all the way
Oh
up.
no,
to,
no! I thought
yeah.
the average was more like $2 or $3 million.
By the way,
No,
that-
It could be closer to 2. Could be closer to 2.
By the way, that
But
quote courtesy of DeForest Realty.
There you
absolutely
go.
before. This guy knows his stuff. I'm telling you right now. Anyways, there we go. The Mustangs of Yorba Linda 2-0 on the season against the Panthers of Orange, but don't let that fool you. Orange has been in the CIF finals a few times. They play football. Yorba Linda is a newer school. Looking forward to working in that stadium, and we'll see what happens, fellas.
Yeah. Just over a decade old, that Yorba Linda school.
And,
Right, brand
and Orange
brand
High
new pretty
School
much.
was built I think Lincoln went there. I'm
Oh.
serious. It's an old school.
The barn?
It
You
is,
love
for
that
sure.
barn
Yeah,
for
the barn.
They got that barn for a gymnasium.
And, so,
No,
and you
you're
know what else
right.
has the barn for a gymnasium? Is Fullerton High School.
Yep.
That's another 100-plus high school.
Fullerton goes back to the 1800s.
Santa Ana.
Yeah.
They're over
Walter
100 years
Johnson,
old.
the old Hall of Fame pitcher, went to Fullerton
Yeah.
High.
And-
That's how old
Did he?
Fullerton.
Oh, my
Yeah, he did.
God.
What
That's
is-
how old Fullerton.
What is the oldest high school in L.A.? Southern California? What's the oldest high school? Starts
LA
with
High?
Starts with an M.
Starts with an M.
Yep.
Him?
There's 2 words.
Manual Arts.
Manual arts.
Ah,
Manual
Good
arts.
job.
I think
got
the
it.
first guy went to school there in like 1850. First graduating class.
I love it.
How about that?
A little trivia for you.
All right, it's more like
you on the hook.
it's more like
50.
1899 to be honest with you.
I think you made
It
that
is what
number
it is.
up. I don't know.
All right, we got 11 seconds left. On behalf of everybody, I'd like to thank you for sticking it out with us tonight. We dropping out with the Wi-Fi and everything else, outages with the local carrier here, but we're
kept it
back
going.
up. We kept it going. We'll see everybody on Thursday for the game of the week, and we'll see you here next Friday for the next edition of Prep Sports Night Live. Thank you again for joining us.